Hello, welcome to this session today. We're going to be talking about offers, parties to an offer, and counteroffer. This is located in your contracts section in the common law material. National portion of your exam, you're going to be responsible for the contract section. And here's a section we're going to talk about that deals with offers, parties to the offer, and counteroffer. My name is John Enzing. I'm a certified real estate instructor both in Louisiana and Florida. And listen, my specialty is to private tutor you, the student, to prepare you for the licensing exam. All you have to go to is privateturingsession.com. That's privateturingsession.com, and book you some time with me, and I'll help you get ready for the exam. Or you can email me at john.enzing@gmail.com. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this. This is, again, in your contract section. We're looking under sales contract. Remember, this is not a contract. We're talking about an offer. So an offer does typically start with a buyer. Okay, it doesn't have to be all the time, but 9 times out of 10, it starts with a buyer. You go look at property, you're a buyer's agent, you go look at property with a buyer, they like it, and they say, look, we want to put in a contract for this house. Now, it starts out as an offer because you have to have offer and acceptance. So it's not a contract, but remember, you got to have offer and acceptance for that to become a contract, binding and enforceable in a court of law. Remember from your contract section, and I got a tutorial on the contract itself, the essential elements of a contract. You got to have competent parties, first of all, legal age and sound mind. You got to have offer and acceptance. You got to have a legal description of the property. It's got to be a legal contract, and you got to have consideration, which could be good or valuable. Okay, so before these essential elements make it a contract, it's nothing more than an offer. It's not a contract, and you need to know the difference for the state exam. Now, who are the parties to the offer? Well, they're called an offeror, and they're called the offeree. So again, starting out with the buyer typically will be your offeror, okay? So it starts out being the buyer, and the offeree is one receiving the offer on the home from the buyer. They're called the offeree. But listen, it's not always in that case. Let me show you. Whoever is making the offer is the offeror. Whoever's receiving the offer is the offeree. Now watch this. Pay attention to me closely. Yes, it typically starts out with a buyer being the offeror, making the offer on the property. But the offeree, and we're going to talk about counteroffers here shortly, the offeree, the seller receiving it, may not like the price, may want to change the price, and now we have a counteroffer that goes back again. Notice it's an offer, but it's a counter. So the seller's putting a counteroffer back in, okay? So the counteroffer, now the seller becomes the offeror, making the offer back to the buyer, who now is the offeree. So this could go back and forth several times until they finally get a meeting of the minds, okay? Which is offer and acceptance. So always remember, whoever is making the offer is the offeror, whoever's receiving the offer is the offeree. So don't confuse that as it's always the buyer or the seller. That's not the case. It's whoever's making the offer or receiving it. Okay, now, what's a counteroffer? So we make an offer. The seller says, you know what? Or the offeree, who's the seller, says, I want to change the price and make a counteroffer. Now, on the state exam, this voids the original offer. That's the answer to the test, okay? Now, if you're just changing a price, then the price has changed only. It's a line number. But for the state exam, by definition, a counteroffer voids the original offer. And it becomes an entirely new offer, okay? So that's what you want to know for the state exam. A counteroffer voids the original offer and now becomes an entirely a new offer. Now remember, the buyer, offeror, submits an offer to the seller, offeree. The offeree says, I want to change the price and make a counteroffer. They become the offeror, submit the counteroffer to the buyer, who's the offeree. That now voids that original offer, and this is now a new entirely an entirely a new offer, okay? So it's a little bit of a tongue tie there. but you have to know and decipher offeror, offeree, and know that an offer is only an offer and it's not a contract until you have all the essential elements, which is the primary purpose of this, is to get offer and acceptance, a meeting of the minds. Okay. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this little small session on offers, parties to an offer, and counteroffer. Again, if you need some private tutoring, go to privateturingsession.com, privateturingsession.com. Good luck on your exam. Bye for now.